Lachlan Kitchen and Neil Odger on TSB Talk Sport Business. And our next guest is Devendra Pandey, the Senior Assistant Editor for the Indian Express. He's joining us via Zoom to talk about this issue regarding Sourav Ganguly, who was out of the BCCI after declining the post of being the IPL chairman. Devendra, thank you very much for joining us here on TSB.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
We're doing very, very well. Does this come as a surprise to you? Yes, we can hear you. Does this come as a surprise that Sourav Ganguly is out of the BCCI?
No, it hasn't actually, because it was, at least we knew that he won't be BCCI president anymore. If you look at the history of the BCCI, at least in the last 15 years, an individual has served only one term at any one post. So Sourav going out hasn't come surprise to the sports fraternity at least to the India. It is surprised at how Sourav Ganguly is not there, the BCCI president anymore. But we knew it that he won't be continuing as a BCCI president.
But when you say that, there have been talks of Jay Shah continuing as a BCCI secretary, does that post allow you to have multiple sessions at that position? And is it only the BCCI president position that does not let you be president twice in 2 terms?
Earlier, there's an unwritten rule in BCCI. Earlier, before we had a Supreme Court Lodha Committee constitution, that each one will serve at one post at a time. So if you look at Srinivasan, he was secretary, then became treasurer, then became BCCI president. So that's how the hierarchy was. But post Lodha Committee, things have changed. The BCCI have found tough to find the right candidate for the right post. And remember, BCCI can be only run with the powerful people out there. So there was a lot of talk going around that Jay Shah will become president of the BCCI, which was supposed to happen, but people say it couldn't happen because someone at the top in the government said no, let a former cricketer replace a former cricketer.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to Roger Binny, what is it that the BCCI like about Roger Binny?
Oh, he's a former cricketer and he's actually sitting president at the Karnataka Cricket State Association. For those who doesn't know what is Karnataka State Association is, the current Indian team coach, Rahul David, comes from there, and all big former cricketers come from there. So Roger Binny probably bring a lot on the table, at least a face point of view. He's a former Indian cricketer. He's a part of a 1983 winning World Cup team. So as a face, we have a good former cricketer at the top.
But then again, Sourav Ganguly was more recent, more contemporary, understood the game from the T20 perspective with himself playing, the IPL. So does it really change facts that, hey, if someone who's played cricket in the 80s and, probably late 80s and early 90s may not have his fingers on the pulse of modern day cricket?
No, but if you look at the BCCI structure, all cricketing decisions are taken by the cricketers. I mean, only the president or the office bearer come in the picture when it comes to a policy decision, or probably like if IPL is going to happen in India or not, they will decide it. They don't decide on cricketing matters. We have a special committee, like we have a selection panel which decide on selection committee. There's another technical committee. So there are a lot of things out there. It's not like only the president, you need to be contemporary.
Yeah, you've also got to keep Virat Kohli happy. See, that's the question I was going to say was, why did the BCCI? What did the BCCI like about him, and why did Virat Kohli choose Roger Binny to be the president? But because obviously the players are key stakeholders. As the ones who the fans like and the sponsors like. What do you think it is about the current players that are going to like about the style of management with Roger Binny?
I mean, if you look at the BCCI constitution, Roger Binny will be hardly coming picture. It's Jay Shah who will call the shots. Secretary has all the power in the BCCI. He will be part of day-to-day services. He will be the man between the players and the management, and Jay Shah will be actually the center point. So Roger Binny will come in the picture when we have big meetings, whenever there's a big policy decision or whether there's probably big changes going to happen, then Roger Binny will have his say.
So it's more like
at least we won't have president now who will sit in the selection committee meetings.
So I mean, I hear a little chuckle there when you say that we'll have a president who will not sit in the selection committee meetings. But tell me something: is the presidential seat of BCCI similar to the presidential seat of India, which is an authoritative position but does not interfere in the day-to-day runnings and operations of the seat or the position?
Not really, actually, because president, if you look at the structure, you need all approval from president.
Okay.
Any meeting when it happens, you need to send to the president because he has the final authority. I'll give you a backstory of it, how it happened. Once Dhoni was the Indian team captain, and the selector wanted to remove him.
Okay.
So Srinivasan was the president of the BCCI.
Right.
He had the veto power. He said, "No, boss, I am the boss. I will decide that he will continue to be the Indian team captain." So Roger Binny will have a last say, but he won't have as much of authority as Ganguly had or some of the other big politicians had, or who were the BCCI president in the past.
So basically the power that you bring in from outside before you take the chair also speaks or gives you that kind of an authority within the BCCI.
Of course, it does, because it depends. I mean, where you're coming from, that matters in BCCI.
Yeah, I totally understand. Do you think there's any coincidence that Sourav Ganguly stepping out, Roger Binny coming in, any coincidence that it's come around the same time as the announcement of the 5-team women's IPL set to begin last year? Any coincidence there?
No, not at all. Because anyway, it was under the pipeline for so long. I mean, BCCI was under pressure that it's not promoting women's cricket at all. So and already there's a women's league happening in Australia, and England also had come up with their own women's league. So being the richest board, they were under scrutiny that why you're not having a women's IPL. So it was about to come. It was nothing. There's no coincidence with Sourav Ganguly or women this thing. Anyway, it's the part of AGM agenda. So BCCI will pass it, and we will have a women's IPL in 2023 soon.
Sourav Ganguly not taking up the IPL chairmanship. Was it more like listen, I'm not going to take up a step down position that you're offering me because I was the president. I the Maharaja that he has been, even during his playing days, that he wouldn't want to carry water bottles for his teammates. Is that the reflection of him saying that, listen, I don't want to take the IPL chairmanship?
I think no one will take, because if you're the prime minister of a country and then next day you're asked to be a state province minister, will you take it? Of course, no one will take it, because after being the boss and suddenly you're just a part of a committee which will work for 2 months in a year. No, but I think it was just no brainer. He was right to deny it to take IPL.
Yeah. So now with Roger Binny right at the top, do we see Mayanti Langer getting more gigs?
I don't know that. You ask Roger, or probably Stuart on it. Better mind your words, because he's BCCI president now. You might be gagged.
See, this is what it is. He becomes the BCCI president after the AGM meeting. So we are right now in the grey zone, right?
Yeah. But he's still unopposed. You never know.
Oh, true that.
People in India remember a lot.
I love it. Devendra, we do appreciate you finding time for us in your busy schedule. And thanks for sharing the details in regards to Sourav Ganguly out of the BCCI and Roger Binny coming in. Thank you for joining us on Talk 100.3.
Take care. Cheers, mate.
There's Devendra Pandey, who is the senior assistant editor for the Indian Express, joining us via Zoom. And, when these sort of big political changes happen, and we know the people involved, we know Sourav Ganguly, we know Roger Binny, you can't help but speculate as to what exactly has gone on behind the scenes.
Well, I mean, see, there definitely has to be something that is, beyond the hidden curtains. But one thing for sure, like, Devendra mentioned over there, that there would be probably little interference or no interference as far as selection is concerned. Yes, Roger Binny, while he played back then, but has been in the administration for a very long time. So that also brings in some kind of, administrative abilities onto the table. While Sourav Ganguly obviously had the flamboyance and a global face that he had. Which one is better, we'll only get to know once, he takes up the position. But for one thing for sure, that we may not get to see Sourav Ganguly sitting in those expensive chairs while watching those cricket games that are being played around the world.
TSP Talk Sport Business on Talk